Hey guys, going into the new week and the end of the quarter, we'll see SPY did go inside week and up with the Fed, and it went 3-2 day on the Fed. Was red and 2 up at one point, but negated green here, took the 3-2 day, took out all these guys. So now we're in the top of the tri, all-time highs exhaustion. They took their profit on Friday, so we'll see what they want to do. It looks like they are gapping down slightly at the close of Friday, so maybe they keep going. We'll just have to see. Nowhere near taking either side of last week's range, but what we'd want to go after is, if we see this going red and still coming back in, go after the 2 downs or the rev strats back down on the week. So that's our plan if things start coming back in. If they don't, then we're going to continue buying energies because those stayed up, and then we'll continue buying industrials, which we talked about in the Tuesday night video. We saw NOC taking the week up, which went inside on Friday, and we saw LMT reconfirm everything. So we had the 322 on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday we can go in and buy the continuation to take these guys out, and then it keeps going. And what we know is that on the month, that's a 322, still has some range, and we have wars going on across the whole entire earth at this point. So they're probably going to get more money, right, poured into them by the government. NOC also going to be an inside month and up as long as it's above 465.75, so that day could confirm that. We'll also see RTX month 2 to the upside, continuing the week, and you can see on Friday 222. So we'll see if those can keep going. GD is the last one there. Went 2-2 on Friday, but has that momentum hammer year in force. So we'll see if those buyers can come back. And those are all the war machine stocks. As far as then we go to the Qs, we will see the Qs completes the weekly try, 3-2-2, these two outside of that. So if we start coming back through, they're trying to take these guys out again. On the day, 2-2 on Friday, did nothing. If we go to IWM, this is one that's super cool to know about. You can see 3 on the week, once a 3, always a 3. What does this tell us? Well, they tried to sell it, countered by more aggressive buyers, and they sold down and bought up. When that happens, they might do it again. So you can see they sold down, bought up, sold back down. That's what we want to see. So the 2-2 on Friday gets you in, back into the 3, and then we'd look to take this out, 199.65, if this doesn't get reversed. So next week, we'll see if we can get another good short on the IDBM to try and take these guys out. And if it does, into the new month and quarter, it would set up a shooter month, which could 2-2 back into this stuff, which would 3-2-2 the quarter if things are going to get bad. So IWM, this would be the weakest index we know about, along with ARC. 3-1 quarter, which tells us this is relatively weak compared to the rest of the market, which went 2 up quarter. And you'll see on the month, 2 up in a red, back into the 3. So if we're going to really see puke or anything in the new quarter, these are the 2 that you'd want to be watching. They'll give you the early warning signs of that stuff coming back in. But next quarter does not start for another week, so that'll be something we talk a lot more about next week. As far as setups into the new week, we do have a bearish tilt on most of them. There's a lot of shooters and inside weeks, not many hammers. I think there's like 2. So going into the new week, we'll see T in the communication services, inside week, potential PMG. 17 put for Friday is trading at 13 cents by 14 cents. So even if it only goes to 16.71, it'd go double. And if it really pukes, then they could go triple, quadruple maybe. If we go to information technology, we'll have Sentinel inside after the big move lower. So a potential measured move. You do have exhaustion risk as you go into the bottom of the try here, 21.82. But you've got the month in force. So we'll see if that keeps puking. Has the 2 up in red year. If we go to Adobe, 2 up in red year as well. 3-2 expansion month. Does go into the new lows here. Still has a pivot here at 475 to take out though. And then 3-3-1 week. So they're willing to sell, buy up, sell down, buy up, sell down again inside a week. So 3-3 and then 1-2 gives you the real move below 495 or above 523, but much closer to the downside. So I'd be looking at the 485 put, which gives you that first magnitude here. And then if it keeps going, those 45 puts closing around 246 by 278 on Friday could go to 10 at 475. And if you go to DOCU, 3 pokes up, comes back in inside. So below 56.43, that's an inside week 212 reversal. And they might have a daily momentum shooter back through these 3s to trigger that below 58.01. So we'll see if that starts coming back in or not. And then in the China names, KWeb, you've got this daily try forming closer to a 2 down inside week and down next week. So we'll see if that's going to stay down or not. But if they do, you could have FUTU 212 weekly reversal, and that would set up a monthly signal. So FUTU, looking at next month's April 19 puts, 52 strike, are trading at $1.40 by $1.52. So even if this doesn't go much this week, next month, we could have more reversals down and pivot machine gun back into some of this stuff. And if we go to JD, you'll also have an inside week there. If we go to PDD, you'll have a big old shooter week there, and these are all China names. So we'll see if China wants to start backing off or not. PDD has that big shooter potentially come back into these guys towards 108. So in there, if we're looking at the April 19 puts, we'd use like ideally like 115, 112s. 115s are trading at 225 by 233. So if we go down here, those go to like 4 intrinsic, and they'd still have a lot of time left. So that could get you setting up some stuff for next month with that big 3 if they want to get outside of that 3. And if we go on the year, it is 2 up in red still. So we'll look at that in the China names. We'll see if we get simultaneous breaks there. In the healthcare, there's also a lot of inside weeks, but inside month in the healthcare. So they're not doing anything. Next month and next quarter would be more interesting to us because inside month, either side of that gets our attention. You will have like MDT inside month still closer to breaking down, so it could be relatively weak. If we go to AMGN, inside week, either side of that. If it breaks up, it's a PMG. If it breaks down, it's a 3-2 month to the downside. But notice they're not really doing much this month, so we'd prefer next month maybe go double inside week and give us the weekend down for next month to try and take this out for a continuation back into these guys. So we don't have to be in there right away. We'll just see. You also see like TMO double inside week, and you'll see like DXCM double inside week at the highs of the try. So we'll just see if those are going to break and get moving or not. Since the month is doing nothing, less likely to do so. In the consumer staples, we'll have consumer discretionary, or not consumer discretionary, we'll have consumer confidence numbers next week. So consumer staples, on the upside, we have CELH. This is one of the few bullish setups. Inside a week, hammer. 212 measured move. So we look for this first, and you had this huge rally before, so maybe they go and buy even more of Celsius. But above that, 93.78. I would be looking at the 97 calls, which closed trading about 63 cents by 73 cents. And if it works, you probably hit around 100, and those would go to $3. If you go to Dollar General, you have an inside week shooter back into this 3 right here, back into this 3 right here, back into this 3 right here, and back into this 3 right here if they really want to send them home. And Dollar Tree, which really got killed. The 212 measured move is potentially setting up below 125.56 and still inside here, but it is bright red. So we'll see what that's going to want to do. It is at the bottom of this weekly try, so just be aware of your potential exhaustion risk when you take this out, 124s. And in the consumer discretionary, then, instead of the staples, or actually before we get to that, consumer staples, we do have, not WBA, KO, so like all the blue chip names. KO is an inside week on the month. Still an inside month, so not really doing much. If we go to CL, consumer staples, bright green month with the inside week up at the highs of it. So exhaustion risk is right there. Just not really the most crazy setups there. We'd prefer the Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and that stuff. Now, consumer discretionary. There's a lot of things in there. So the online retailers like eBay, inside week after last year's highs. So 212 reversal could send us back through this previous range. You can see the year looks like this, inside and up, but you're knowing you're taking this out. So it could rev strat. If we go to Etsy, also an online retailer, this is much weaker, taking last month's lows inside month and down, with the inside week 3-1 to reconfirm the month below that, 65.89. And what we'd want to do is use like the 65 put, something a little closer. 65 puts are trading 165 by 168 for Etsy. And let me write that down quick. And that is in next month's April 19 expiration, because we have this outside month here and potentially potentially we're still coming back to 58. So those could move pretty nicely. The volatility there is not too bad. If we go to the consumer discretionary, Starbucks inside and down month right now. Could take inside year and down. That would be an issue. And on the week, you got an outside shooter week that could confirm that. So a little bit of problems there. It is that exhaustion risk at the lows, so we don't have to be the first ones in. We can wait and see if they're really going to get going or not. But McDonald's, also a 3-1 week down here. So below that, 278.07, bearish. 2 up in red quarter after taking out both sides of this 3. So they could come back down to these guys, 245. If we go on the day, no daily setups for us. So we'll just see which side of this range are they taking out on the week. And then other consumer names we see that are weak. Nike did not have a good time last week with earnings. Similar to Starbucks, going inside year and down below 8866. So if consumers start coming in, that's something we could go after. If we go to the other consumer discretionary names, we see a simultaneous break setting up in the electric cars. So Rivian, bright red year, inside week. Lucid, bright red year, inside week. This one's a $2.77 stock, so no thanks. Tesla, bright red everything, inside week shooter. So we'll see if all of those can simultaneously break lower or higher. We prefer lower based on continuity, but that is a good potential simultaneous break this coming week, along with Dollar General and Dollar Tree that we'll keep an eye on. And then that is going to be just about it. So just to recap, T in communication services, Sentinel, Adobe, and DOCU in the infotech, FUTU with the other China names with all the inside weeks, and then maybe healthcare, not super interested, and then consumer staples, CELH, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, consumer discretionary, all of the electric car stocks, and then Etsy, eBay. So that will be about it. And going into the new week, as far as your news is concerned, we don't got too many crazy things going on, but you will see crude oil on Wednesday, second 60 of the day. That's something we'll want to know with our energy trade. Consumer confidence comes out on turnaround Tuesday after the open. So this is something that could mess with the consumer discretionary consumer staple stocks. So that's something we'll be looking for. And then we do have some GDP and unemployment claims, and then home sales and some more consumer sentiment stuff. So really a slow week. Powell's going to be speaking at Friday morning, so that could also get some things going. But that's going to be about it. Going into the new quarter, we'll have a lot more stuff to talk about, but into this next week, we can be a little patient, see where those breaks simultaneously break and go there. And we'll talk about that Monday and Tuesday night. So that will be about it, and I will see you guys in the nightly vid.